I know this has been argued ad nauseum already, but I'm weighing it anyway. It's a cake. It says it on the box. Cake. And I know there are people out there saying, ooh, fish cakes are called cakes and they're not really cakes, so that proves nothing. You can see my response to that argument by clicking the link in the top right of the screen. That having been said, a Jaffa Biscuit sounds like it could be really nice. Starting this one with a nice orangey bit in the middle. For that, unsurprisingly, I need oranges. Or rather, 500 grams of their juice. There you go, exactly 2 oranges, which I juiced off screen. Yes, I'm measuring by weight rather than by volume. That's just to make my life a bit easier when it comes to adding the sugar. So, get this onto the heat, stir in the aforementioned jam sugar, and I need the same weight of sugar as I do juice. Easy. 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid. Obviously, there's some of this already in the orange juice, but after all that sugar, I think it can take a bit more. And a few drops of orange extract for that authentic Jaffa cakey flavour. Then bring the whole thing to a rapid boil. I actually need to overshoot jam a little bit here since we need to cut this into circles, so I'm actually aiming for a pâté de fruits. It's basically jam with an ego. Boil this to 225 Fahrenheit, 107 Celsius. Yeah, not quite, let that go a bit longer. That's more like it. So pour this out onto a sheet lined with baking paper and let it set. There you go, lovely. Now let's get some footage of some sticky stuff being stretched. There you go. Now, since these are sticky as hell, they're pretty hard to handle. So to make my life a little bit easier in assembly, I'm going to cut that sheet of greaseproof paper into individual servings. Well, that was quick. Let's give you a closer look at one of these. Love that colour, it looks like something from Jurassic Park. That might be something worth trying one day. See if I can set something inside a ball of this stuff. Texture's perfect, it's pliable but it holds its shape. I'm happy with these. Let's move on to the biscuits. Shortbread, 125 grams of butter, cream it with 60 grams of caster sugar, 200 grams of plain flour and pulse it together. This food process has been in more episodes than I have at this point. I feel like it's earned a name. Let me know in the comments what you think we should call it. I'll pick my favourite and christen it in a future episode. As long as this offer doesn't go horribly wrong. Might end up having to call it Food Processor Food Processor Face. In fact, fuck it. Whoever comes up with the best name can win a £20 Amazon gift card too. Anyway, onto a board, bring it together, then knead it into a dough. When that's done, wrap it in cling film and half hour in the fridge for some reason. Half hour later, roll it out. This was actually a bit too foley a party to work with, so I needed to knead a bit of milk into it. Board's too small for this, just a second. There we go, that should make life a bit easier. Once they're rolled out, cut them into circles slightly larger than the orange. Then bake them at 180 for about 10 minutes. There you go. Let's take a look at one of these. Looks good. Still quite blonde. Looks crumbly. Smells buttery as hell. Good biscuit on which to build our Jaffa. Grab my pâté de fruits. This one, greaseproof paper and all. Pop her in the center of a shortbread, then carefully peel off the backing paper. This does not want to let go. Stick with it. There we go. Onto the chocolate. I'm using dark. Just chop this into a bowl and microwave it in 10-second bursts until it's somewhat liquid. Am I going to attempt to temper this? Fuck no. 2 reasons. 1, I don't have the skill set for something that technical, and I think it's one of the admittedly few things that I'd like to actually practice at least once before doing it on camera. Reason the second, I'm planning on being a little bit more generous with the chocolate than McVitie's, and if it's tempered, I've got a funny feeling that it's going to be like trying to bite through a brick. Bring the biscuits back and start covering. I'm doing a pour over rather than dipping them, so the chocolate should hold the fancy pants jam in place. 11 biscuits later, and once the chocolate is set, done. Okay, so first impressions, I've clearly been more generous with the chocolate than McVitie's has, so that's one check mark. Let's clear some space and try one. Okay, yeah, that's why the chocolate should be tempered. You can see where the heat of my fingers is just starting to melt it. See what this looks like on the inside. Oh, now I like that. That biscuit is buttery and crumbly as you want it to be. I think these hinge on that orange though, don't they? So let's try some. Yeah, that's spot on. I'm happy with these. There's not much else to say about these really. If you like Jaffa cakes and you like shortbread, they're definitely worth a go. It tastes like a Jaffa cake biscuit. And that's Jaffa Biscuits. It's a pretty contained episode, this one, but it's still definitely one worth trying. Same drill as always. If you do decide to try it, let us know how it turns out. Pictures, comments, whatever. Social links are in the description. Like the video if you liked the video. Subscribe if you feel so inclined. And let us know in the comments what foods you want to see me butcher next time. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, get forked. Little bit messy to eat because of that, but let's be honest, you're going to be dunking it in tea anyway, aren't you? So